Well, Jubitarians and Sooner football fans, this is Bradley Juby, and for this Top 10 Thursday, number 15, for those who are keeping up with that, this is, of course, Bedlam Week, and I have the top 10 Bedlam victories for the Oklahoma Sooners, and now this does not include Oklahoma State victories, so if you want to do your top 10 Oklahoma State victories, which you'll only be doing 10 out of 18 of those, just do it on your own channel, alright? Because I think it's time, because on this channel, we don't do the Cowboys, we do the Sooners on Bradley Juby TV. So let's get started with the top 10 Bedlam victory, and that was last year's Bedlam victory. Oklahoma 38, Oklahoma State 20. Of course, OSU led 17-10 in the second quarter, but with some Mayfield magic, OU tied it up. And they went on pretty much a 28-3 run for the rest of that game. And just when OU had sealed it, when it looked like Samaje Perine was about to score, he decided to be nice and take a knee because the game at that point was already won. We proved our point. We won the Big 12. And then we went and played Auburn in the Sugar Bowl. But we were nice. We could have just ran it up on you. But we're nice. We were at least nice that day. Okay, at number 9 was the 2004 Bedlam. It was Oklahoma 38, Oklahoma State 35. Of course, Adrian Peterson ran all over those poke chokes. But the Pokes had the potential to upset the number 2 team in the nation that year. But, Jason Ricks, he kicked it and it went wide left. And that was the end of that one. Number 8 is the 2006 Bedlam, which was a bit of a back and forther, but it was 27-21 Oklahoma over the Cowboys. And it came down to what was like kind of a Hail Mary, but if you do believe in the Virgin Mary, she was probably a Sooner fan that day because it didn't work. And OU still ended up winning the Big 12 South that year, so, yep. And number 7 is the 2009 game, Oklahoma 27, Oklahoma State, Bupkis 0, nada. You got shut out in Norman. Hard to believe. And, you guys were actually the favorite in that game. You were number 12 team in the country, and you might have gone to the BCS. And this was, of course, against a 6-5 Oklahoma team. Yeah, they were banged up and kind of in a rebuilding phase. But nonetheless, they got a pretty good victory of the year. DeMarco Murray had 2 touchdowns, and Ryan Bros had that punt return for a touchdown. And you guys couldn't get anything done. That's the way I like it. At number 6 was the game from the year before, the 2008 game, in which Oklahoma 61, Oklahoma State 41. But man, I just remember that game. Man, that was a shootout. I mean, that kind of reminded me a wee bit of the Texas Tech game last year. OU would score and then OSU scored, but as the game got late, it pretty much, OU pretty much stopped them, and then that was it, pretty much. Okay, and at number 5, we'll go all the way back to the year 1988, Oklahoma 31, Oklahoma State 28. Now, back in 1988, Oklahoma State had a running back by the name of Barry Sanders. Oh, yeah, I hear he was pretty good. I think he might have even won the Heisman Trophy that year. Yeah, but they had Hartley Dykes at wide receiver. They had a quarterback that I think later on he became the head coach at Oklahoma State, and of course he had a big old rant about him being a 40-year-old man. But anyway, he played quarterback, and OU had a running back as a freshman named Mike Gaddis, and I think actually Gaddis may have actually outgained Barry Sanders in that game. But it did come down to a fourth down play, and I know you're all probably hating on Brett Parker after dropping that football. That was so painful for you guys. Okay, number 4 was 1985. Oh, that was a pretty sweet year. Back to the Future came out that year. Some other things. The first WrestleMania was that year. Oh, and that was the Ice Bowl, in which it was sleeting and freezing and snowing in that game. But ice and snow could not stop Oklahoma that day. They shut out the Cowboys 13-0. Well, I think they would have shut out Oklahoma State even if it wasn't snowing and icing, because the Oklahoma Sooners that year had really one of the best defenses of all time, especially led by Brian Bosworth. You weren't going to get past the Boz that day. Nope. It would have been 100 degrees and Boz would have still owned you guys. So, I'm not giving Old Man Winter too much credit on that one. Okay, at number 3 was the 2012 game. 51-48 overtime. My friend Adam Pena was at that game, although he was representing the Oklahoma State Cowboys. And the Cowboys pretty much led the whole game. Except when it was tied, of course. But I still remember the 4th down and goal. Or was it 4th and 1, but it was close to the goal line. The Belldozer, Blake Bell, rumbled into the end zone for the touchdown. And then on OU's only possession of overtime, Brendan Clay just rumbled, stumbled, bumbled, didn't fumble, ran right into that end zone, and the whole palace went wild. That was bedlam. You want to know bedlam? That was bedlam. Okay, number 2 was the 2003 game. The blowout. 52-9. Of course, I just always remember Les Miles saying, "Let it rip." Well, I know he was feeling confident because he had beaten Oklahoma State the last 2 years in upsets. He really did feel like he could have got a 3rd straight upset, but nope, not that time. Oklahoma laid the smacketh down on OSU's Candy Patooties, and all they got out of that was a field goal and a pick six. But that offense of Josh Fields, Rashawn Woods, and Tatum Bell, they tore us up for 2 straight years, but not that day. Rashawn was not open in 2003. He may have been open in 2001 and 2002, but not 2003. And then that goal line stand just sent OU fans crazy, and that was probably one of the reasons why Les Miles decided he wanted to go to the Bayou and not be stuck in Payne County. Okay, and the number 1 Bedlam victory was 2013. And oh, man, that was one of the coldest but wildest bedlams. I like to call it the fake, the drop, the catch, and the botch. Because OU tied it up with a fake field goal in the 3rd quarter. And then Oklahoma State took the lead late. But man, Blake Bell had that awesome drive down the field. There could have been an interception from Justin Gilbert, I think, but he dropped it. Yes, he dropped it. He didn't have control of it. OU keeps the ball. And man, with 19 seconds left, Blake Bell hits Jalen Saunders for the go-ahead touchdown. But it wasn't over yet. Oklahoma State had an opportunity to tie or win it. And they had 2 seconds to do it. Now, and of course, they tried a little hook and ladder, but they pitched it too far. Shelf doesn't get it. Eric Stryker takes it, and he scores a touchdown. Albeit a bit unnecessary, but it made the game look a little bit cosmetic. But nonetheless, OU won, and then one of your cheerleaders tried to trip Stryker, and you were throwing snowballs because you Poke fans were so butthurt that Sooner Magic had done itself again, just like it's done to you Poke so many times. Man, I should have mentioned the 1983 Bedlam. Now that one on my countdown, but I'll give an honorable mention for that because that was the year that OU was down 20-3, but the band played Boomer Sooner until they came back, and Derek Shepard had a catch that pretty much set up a field goal for Tim Lasher, and OU ended up beating OSU 21-20 back in 1983, so that was pretty awesome. Well, I think I've busted the 11-minute mark on this, but this is Bradley Juby, and I'm about to say, Boomer Sooner, let's beat those Pokes on Saturday. All right.